The 2023-2024 Philadelphia Eagles suffered one of the biggest season collapses in NFL history, and there ain't no love in the city after Monday night's playoff loss to the Bucs. So let's recap the season and look ahead to the offseason with Jeff Kerr, NFL writer for CBS Sports, and he also covers the Eagles for CBS Philadelphia as well. Jeff, man, thanks for hopping on. Eagles fans can pull up a chair. They can join the Giants fans, Cowboys, and, of course, the Commanders fans. They never had a chance to go to the playoffs and watch the rest of these playoffs. Let's play Tuesday morning quarterback. What happened last night, man? What were your biggest takeaways?
Well, Brandon, I'll say this. The Eagles' defense, it got even worse after they made the play caller switch from Sean Desai to Matt Patricia. You just don't make a move like that week 15 into the season and expect your defense to get better, no matter how bad the defense was. And they did that. And, yeah, the defense looked a little better statistically, but there were communication issues across the board, just like there were with Sean Desai. You were basically learning two different defensive concepts at the same time. Guys are out of position, as you saw last night with the Avonte Maddox and Eli Ricks collision. That was just a microcosm of all the problems the Eagles had there. And quite frankly, their offense just wasn't creative enough. Bottom line, it did not help out Jalen Hurts or tailor to his strengths one bit. They didn't run the ball much, and they had a lot of injuries at the end of the season, as we remember in Week 18 with the Giants. Look, if the Eagles take care of business prior to that game, Jalen Hurts doesn't have the finger injury, A.J. Brown doesn't have the knee injury and missed that game, and who knows how the season goes. But the Eagles' collapse is historic. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, their offense was completely pedestrian last night. Guys couldn't separate. The play calling looked very basic. And I'm not the one to call for a coach's job. I'm a coach's son. But Nick Sirianni is not the most popular guy in Philly today. We know his resume. We know about what he's done in Philly. But after losing 6 of your last 7, after starting 10-1, do you think he is going to be this team's head coach on opening day next season?
Coach's kid too, Brandon, but I got to be honest with you. Based on the way it's looking and based on how this team, I felt they tuned out Nick Sirianni's message long ago, but Week 18 against the Giants was a telltale sign that, okay, the same thing is happening here. If I'm rolling my eyes in the press conference of what Nick Sirianni is saying, what's a player actually playing for him doing? So it doesn't look good. I'll say that. There's going to be significant changes on the defensive side of the ball regardless. Most likely with offense too. If Nick Sirianni does stay, it's because he was 34-17 in his 3 seasons, has the highest win percentage in Eagles history. But I'll say this right now: if he does stay, Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman will be picking his offensive and defensive coordinator. Something Nick Sirianni did this time around, and you saw the Brian Johnson disaster and the Sean Desai disaster, which became Matt Patricia. So that's the only way Nick Sirianni stays. But I just don't know right now how you keep a coach that lost 6 of his last 7 games, and the team just fell off the rails. We knew they weren't as good as the 10-1 record they were, but they were still 10-1. But Nick Sirianni did nothing to fix these issues.
Yeah. So if let's say he doesn't get fired and he does stay, well, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but what coaching changes do you see the Eagles making this offseason? Like, do you see ownership telling him, hey, this guy, and that guy's got to go? Who would kind of be that sacrificial lamb?
Well, we do know Matt Patricia won't be back. That's as clear as day. I mean, when you're already moving on from Sean Desai, you're 1 to a 4-year contract. You know they're going to overhaul the defense. So that's one of the main ones. I think the Eagles will pick their defensive coach there. They picked John Fagan. Nick Sirianni didn't pick him. So keep that in mind. Same with offense. It helped Nick Sirianni was buddies with Shane Steichen, and I'm sure Nick Sirianni had a hand in bringing Shane Steichen to Philadelphia. But the Eagles really like Shane Steichen, and 2 years what he did with Jalen Hurts, he became an NFL head coach. I think they'll want to pick their offensive coordinator again, and they'll probably want to pick an experienced mind this time around. I know Frank Reich is the popular opinion, or the popular choice, I should say, but I don't know if they're going to go that route. I'm really curious to see what they do here. And I think this is why Jeffrey Lurie is going to take 48 to 72 hours to ponder everything. Because let's face it, Brandon, there are some good head coaches available. Young head coaches, veteran head coaches. If you think one of them is better than Nick Sirianni, and there are, I think you got to make the switch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, next 24, 48, 72 hours, especially with all the coaches that are going on, like Bill Belichick down in Atlanta interviewing for the Falcons job. We saw an end of an era, or reportedly an end of an era. Last night, Jason Kelce reportedly told his teammates that he's going to retire. 13 seasons, all with the same franchise. What's his legacy in Philly? How is this man going to be remembered?
You know what? My dad used to tell me all the time. My grandpa used to tell me all the time about Steve Van Buren, about Chuck McNarick. That's Jason Kelce. That's good. That's Jason Kelce to this generation. That guy was a living embodiment of the city of Philadelphia. Worked his butt off to get to where he was as a 6th-round pick. He was counted out. He was told he was too small. He was a product of old offensive line coach Howard Mudd. That was the only reason why he was here. And what does Jason Kelce do? Just gets better with age. He aged like fine wine. I mean, when you make 6 first-team All-Pros in your last 7 seasons, you're a Hall of Famer. I mean, there's only 4 other guys that have done that at the center position. Jason Kelce, he was great with the media. He was great with fans. He was great with everybody. He's just a great person. I mean, a lot of the reason why Travis Kelce gets the love he gets and why he gets all the benefit from Taylor Swift and Donna Kelce and stuff like that, it's because of Jason. Jason paved the way for his brother to have success in this league just from being Jason. He was that guy, Brandon. I've talked to Jason Kelce several times in my life, just from covering him at Super Bowls in that locker room. He's just an awesome individual. He's going to be great in whatever he does, by the way. I think he has a future in media. But, he did tell teammates last night. I think he was leaning toward that last week that he was going to retire, even though he didn't want to admit it to us. But, he told a bunch of reporters, hey, I ain't officially retired, but do your job. And he's definitely doing that.
Yeah, I love watching him and respecting him as a player. Love listening to the podcast. Good luck to him in the media. But I love watching him as a dad as well. The videos with, he and his kids were always super cool. And, me as a dad, you want to be like that. Jeff, man, thanks for hopping. Oh, last but not least, I'm throwing this in there. If you're Nick Sirianni, what would you tell the players right now? If this is the exit meeting, what's your last, put a button on the 2023 season?
And I guess I got to put my coach's cap on here. I'd be like, hey guys, thanks for the season. I mean, honestly, like, what else do you say to them? I mean, you can get mad at them. You can, try to pretend like you're giving an inspirational speech, but I say, hey guys, I'm never going to coach a team like you guys again. I mean, if you want to be honest, whether that's good or bad, it's the honest to God truth. And I think a lot of players do respect Nick in that locker room. I just think the message got stale, and I think you just got to be passionate and honest with your guys. And if you are that, you're going to get respected for 2024 and beyond. Remember, Nick Sirianni has not been fired yet, so we got to keep that in mind.
Yep. Next up for the players, Cancun. Jeff, thanks for joining us, man.
Sounds great. Thanks, Brandon.